going out there, educating people. There's a billion people you can reach, and you have real distributions. Like most blockchains, certain customers, mainly crypto degenerates who are trading. Ton is very different to that because we actually have access to normal retail users. Onboarding into crypto. It's still very difficult for normal people to buy crypto cheaply, securely, and very fast. Payments and real-world use cases to basically educate people about Telegram, that it exists, to educate people about...
Hello guys, so we are now in Dubai during Token 2049, and here with you Anna Tutova, CEO of Coins Telegram, and our guest Max Kraun, who is now newly appointed CEO of Ton Foundation with over 41 million users. So he will be leading the growth, and as well he is co-founder of MoonPay and board member of MoonPay, one of the leaders in crypto payments space. So great to have you here, Max.
Good morning, great to have you as well. Excited to do this.
So can you tell us about your background and how did you get involved into crypto space?
Yeah, of course. I got involved in crypto in about 2018 when basically I met Ivan and Victor, my two co-founders of MoonPay. So we decided to, in 2018, to start a company called MoonPay with the goal to make crypto payments easier. And the original idea was to allow people to buy Bitcoin using Apple Pay, because it was very difficult for people to onboard. And it was very clunky. There was no real competition in the market. There was only one incumbent, a company called Simplex at the time. So we decided to go out there and basically make a better product. That was sort of my first real crypto world experience. Of course, I knew about Bitcoin earlier. Everybody talks about the Bitcoin pizza, but we were too busy at the time with traditional finance, TradFi, real estate to really take notice of the whole development until about 2018.
Yeah, so you started company back during the bear market. How was it?
No, it was good time to build. I mean, we were 3 people, startup vibes, no customers at the time. We basically bootstrapped the business. So we were working out of London, out of my house, out of Victor's house. We had 1 developer, 1 staff basically, so it was 3 of us plus 1. We got live in February of 2019 with Bitcoin.com. So Roger Ver basically enabled us to basically start our business because it was our first big client. And then COVID happened, which sort of basically changed everything. It allowed us to basically build a business from being at home. You couldn't travel, you couldn't do anything else. It was a great time to build. And crypto basically took off as an independent asset class. So it was very good timing.
Yeah, that was a great time for the prices. So why did you decide to join Ton Foundation?
I mean, it was a natural transition from MoonPay. Basically, I'm like one of the co-founders. We hired all the right people. We hired a good CFO. We hired chief operating officer. So we built a really good team. And I think the biggest compliment is if you make yourself redundant in a way, that you're basically passing on the chariot to somebody else. And then Ton came along, big believer in the ecosystem. I said, bought in 23. I know Manny, the new president, extremely well. We've been friends for about 20 years. And it's just a really interesting proposition to link a blockchain with Telegram and have a billion people we can reach, essentially.
So how do you target to get those Telegram users onto on-chain?
No, it's like we're developing new products. Like I think the focus will be for the next several months payments and real-world use cases to basically educate people about Telegram, that it exists, to educate people about Ton, and to basically show them, what they can actually do with it, that you can accept payments. Like when I pull up Telegram and I show people I can send them Ton or USDT just by a username, they're like, oh my God, this is great. Like, why did we know about it? So it's mainly going out there, educating people about the technology and what it can do, and also just telling people that, there's a billion people you can reach, and you have real distributions. Like most blockchains don't have distribution. They have certain customers, mainly crypto degenerates who are trading. It's like the original crypto crew. I think Ton is very different to that because we actually have access to normal retail users.
Yeah, that's cool to onboard the general crowd. And how do you see the current state of crypto payments?
I mean, it's happening already. There's Solana Pay, there's BitPay. Like there are certain websites and certain things you can already use crypto to pay for. But again, people don't really know about it. And I think one of the biggest issues is what we're trying to solve, and what also we tried to solve with MoonPay at the time, was onboarding into crypto. It's still very difficult for normal people to buy crypto cheaply, securely, and very fast. Like depends on what market you're in, what geography, so it makes it very complicated. So I think for crypto payments to evolve, we need to basically work on two sides. We need to work on the merchants to educate them that they can accept it. We need to educate people how to basically buy crypto in the first place. We even have a payroll provider called Deal, which we pay in crypto essentially through Coinbase. So we're already making use of it because it's a lot faster and a lot cheaper than using traditional banking. And I think especially for merchants, accepting crypto can be cheaper for them than traditional payment methods like MasterCard and Visa. They normally take between 2 and 3% in fees. And you also have the fraud problem. Like crypto is irreversible. There's no chargebacks. You can't call it back. So for merchants, it could actually be very interesting to accept more crypto payments in the future.
Yeah, and what's your big vision for the development and expansion of the open network phone?
It's a very tricky question. First week on the job, I think doubling down on real world use cases. So we have some announcements coming this week, the next couple of days. But yeah, focusing on real world assets, focusing on payments. We're focusing obviously on gaming as well, to just help people use Telegram and understand what Telegram is, and explain to them what the Ton blockchain can actually do for them. Like I think one of the main things is if you want to build anything in the Web3 space, you need to use the Ton blockchain to then access the Telegram users. So we have to do a lot of educational work and explain people why we're doing this, who we are, what the benefits are. Because right now it's it's still a very closed ecosystem, unfortunately.
Yeah, education is everything. And
Yeah.
how do you see as well institutional adoption of crypto?
Institutional adoption for Ton or institutional adoption?
For both. And recently you had another funding of $400 million. A lot of investors bought more.
Like investors bought Toncoin, so it's not, they didn't fund the foundation, so investors were investing in Toncoin itself. A lot of institutional US investors. They believe in the bigger vision, basically. They believe in distribution to get to retail. Like ultimately there's institutional capital, which is very important. But I think what is more important in the future is access to 1, 2, 3 billion people who you can reach for e-commerce, for payments, for advertisements, in games as well, because people live on their phones. And developing a Telegram-based sort of super app where you don't have to leave your phone to basically interact with your friends, to make payments, to go shopping, to buy your coffee, I think could be very valuable in the future.
And as well, we are now in Dubai, and you spend quite a lot of time here. So how do you see the crypto adoption in this region, and especially Ton Foundation as well established their office in ADGM recently? So can you tell more about that? Yeah,
we have an office up in it's close to the Palm, basically. I mean, Dubai is great. It's super welcoming. They have a regulatory framework which is safe. Which they published, so you need a VARA license. So one of the big things Dubai did first is to publish a framework and give regulatory certainty to companies, which I think is one of the most important things in the industry, that you know exactly what you need to do, you know what you get, you know what licenses to do. And they also made it super easy for people to come to Dubai. Like I came about 18 months ago, getting work permits is not very hard to do. And most importantly, I think the language is English. Like unlike other countries where you have to speak Spanish, Portuguese, French, here, everything is done in English, so you have very low barriers of entry. So more and more companies are coming here. All the talent is coming to Dubai, and it also helps that it's extremely safe.
Yeah, and what are your expectations from Token 2049?
I mean, it's we have some big announcements coming in the next 2 days. There's an announcement tomorrow, and there's an announcement on Wednesday.
Can you share it?
Well, this is coming live later, right?
Yes, yes.
No, so we're going to announce a launch of Libra tokenized Telegram bonds. So it's the first real-world asset basically coming onto Ton blockchain. Telegram right now is about $2.3 billion worth of corporate bonds, and we're tokenizing part of that through a partnership with Libra. So to basically bring the first tokenized corporate debt onto the Ton blockchain, where you can basically trade it, you can own it, you can use it as collateral for DeFi applications in the future. So that's one of the things we're working on. And also Ethena is going live on Ton as well. So we have basically a stablecoin backed yield product essentially through Ethena. So these are the two big announcements this week, and we're going to build basically on top of these going forward.
So do you think there will be demand for tokenized bonds from the retail users?
It really depends on the market. Getting yield, I think, is very important. Getting sustainable yield, like, right now, dollar pays about 4%, but to actually access US dollar treasuries in emerging markets is extremely hard. So it's not just about corporate bonds itself, but it's about, accessing, for example, dollar yields, European yields on blockchain. I do think there's demand because, if you're if you're in Latin America or even in Europe, you don't get any yield on your money. And with this, you're basically opening up the worldwide market essentially to the world as well.
And how do you see the current crypto market?
It's very reactive to the macro environment, essentially. So it's, we need to see how the world sort of works out the next couple of weeks and months with the tariffs, with all the conflicts we have. So hopefully, in the future, I do believe it's going to be positive and we will solve problems. But most likely, some coins will consolidate.
Do you have anything to add about the development of TON? What's next for you?
I mean, what's next is payments. So we're trying to speak to big payment networks in the US and in Europe to basically educate them about TON and to start building out use cases in terms of merchant payments, consumer payments, to try to make card issuance easier for the ecosystem because it's still very antiquated system. So we're doing a lot of development work behind the scenes. We're building more DeFi products on TON itself, just so for users to basically be able to trade, to leverage their holdings, to borrow against TON if they want to. So we're basically supporting the ecosystem in that front.
Yeah, so the main use case you're betting on is payments, right?
Yeah, payments is my background. It's one of the reasons I also basically got appointed to focus mainly on payments. Another thing we are focusing on is collectibles and NFTs to basically bring collectibles, NFTs to the Telegram user base and work out a standard where we can enable trading and royalties and just make it easier for big IP holders to deploy their assets on Telegram itself.
Yeah, and TON was stuck a bit from the price point, and as well the user activity dropped, and as well it was influenced by the arrest of Pavel Durov, but now he is released. So how do you see the connection of that to the development of TON?
It's completely separate, to be honest. Like, the TON Foundation and TON blockchain is independent from Telegram. Obviously, we have an exclusivity agreement for the mini apps and the distribution. But it's just market reaction, essentially. Like, the blockchain will exist, with or without Pavel. It was set up that way. It's fully decentralized. So it's just market movements and crypto FUD, basically, whenever something like this happens. Like, obviously, he's a very important figure. Mm-hmm. He is the man behind Telegram. Like, he runs it, he controls it. So obviously, it has an impact on us. But from a technology point of view, we're basically fully independent.
And how long will this bull market last, in your opinion?
If I were, honestly, I have no idea, to be honest. If I knew, I would probably be sitting in some Caribbean island and betting on it. I think it really depends on the macro environment, unfortunately. It's so linked right now with the political developments of the world and the money flows and institutional capital. So hopefully as long as possible.
And do you have any price predictions for Bitcoin price by the end of this year?
Higher than we are right now, but honestly, it's like you can flip a coin. It's like I'm not an analyst. I have no idea where it is. Like if you read the news, I think Standard Charter sets like all-time high at some point in Q3, but I have honestly no idea.
Well, you mentioned that you're integrating with Ethena. Do you plan more integrations with other blockchains? Yeah.
So right now we have Tether, obviously, on TON. I think with more than 1 billion minted. So it's a big partnership. Ethena is coming right now, and we are talking to 2 or 3 other major stablecoin providers just to basically have a more complete set, especially given all the regulations which are coming around the world. Like, you need to be MiCA compliant for Europe. There's a stablecoin bill in the United States coming up as well. So we're speaking to the other big providers to basically enable them to be on TON itself, so that we can just give our users the widest range of opportunities.
And do you think there will be emergence of much more stablecoin providers and issuers? I
mean, right now everybody's trying to basically issue their own stablecoins, given the interest rates are so high. Ultimately, I think long term there will be 2 or 3 big players because you need scale, you need usability, you need distribution. So it's my prediction would be there's 2 or 3 major ones, and then there may be in some, depending on which markets and which countries, there will be one for AED, there might be one for Euro stablecoins, but behind the scenes, it's most likely going to be very few companies because it's very expensive to set up, and that the whole regulatory framework, all the licensing, the compliance work, it's just very difficult to do when you need scale. Like without scale, it's very difficult to do a stablecoin.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, just yesterday, Abu Dhabi First Bank announced the first regulated by central bank dirham stablecoin.
Yeah, exactly. And I saw that yesterday as well. It's on my list, on my call list, basically, to see if we can do something with them. So I need to get some more information from my team to basically see how we can basically help in the UAE region with the stablecoin. Given it's also used a lot for remittances, like coming back to payments again. Like UAE to India to Pakistan, they're huge remittance corridors, and having stable coins actually really helps in this instance.
Yeah, it will be great to see some more announcements from Ton Foundation. Thank you for such interesting conversation.
Well, thank you so much for having me. Really appreciate it. Hopefully we can do it again in 6 months' time.
Yeah, sure.
Absolutely. Thank you.